What if I told you guys there's a place as old as history itself, where wine is more common than water, where hospitality is king, where cha-cha puts hair on your chest, whether you're a man or a woman, and where food is exotic yet oddly familiar? Today on Marco's Urban Kitchen, we're taking a trip to Georgia. And no, not the state, I'm talking about the Republic of Georgia. Go Marjos! Woo! What's up guys, welcome back to Marco's Urban Kitchen. On today's episode, I want to share with you one of the most delicious and decadent recipes of Georgian cuisine. Today I'm making khachapuri. Now if you've never heard of or had khachapuri, imagine a bread filled with gooey cheese and egg. It is so delicious. And today I'm actually going to be making ajaroli khachapuri, which is specific to the Ajarian region of Georgia. And I'm going to show you how to make it using really simple ingredients. Store-bought pizza dough, feta cheese that you can buy in the grocery store, along with some regular shredded mozzarella. You guys ready? Let's go. Before we get into the recipe, I'm actually going to give you a quick little Georgian lesson. Khachapuri actually comes from two words. Khacho, which means cheese curds, and puri, which means bread. That's exactly what it is, cheese bread. So let's go over the ingredients. Like I said, they're pretty simple. I have here some store-bought pizza dough. I just got this in the refrigerated section near the bakery. If you can't find store-bought pizza dough, I will include a recipe on my website for dough to make khachapuri. You're also going to need a good quality feta cheese. Now, you should aim for a Greek or a Turkish or a Bulgarian feta cheese, something that is full fat, either made with sheep's milk, goat's milk. If you can't find it, you can only find cow's milk. That's fine. Just make sure that it is full fat, okay? I also have some regular shredded mozzarella cheese. This is, again, full fat mozzarella cheese that comes in the bag. You don't have to get anything fancy. Do not buy the fresh mozzarella. It has too much water in it, and then when you bake it, all the water comes out, and you end up with soggy khachapuri. And here I have a couple tablespoons of the brine from the feta cheese. If your feta cheese doesn't have brine, you can just use regular water with a little bit of salt in it. You're going to need 1 egg, and of course, some flour for dusting. And that's it. So the very first thing that you're going to want to do is preheat your oven. Crank it up to the highest setting. Mine's on 500 degrees. It's been preheating for about 30 minutes, and I did put a pizza stone inside. Now, if you don't have a pizza stone, don't worry. You can use a baking sheet, turn it upside down, put it in the oven. It'll work exactly the same. The only difference is you're going to want to use a little bit of parchment paper. That way it doesn't stick to the baking sheet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make the cheese mixture. So I have the feta cheese. I'm going to put it in a nice bowl like this, and I'm going to start crumbling it with my hands. Just like that, okay? And as you start crumbling it, you're gonna want to add a little bit of the brine, just a couple, like maybe a teaspoon, just like that. This is gonna help make a nice little paste. You want it to be nice and sticky. And once you see it gets kind of sticky, you're gonna go ahead and add in your mozzarella cheese, just like that. As you can see here, it's kind of forming into like a paste. If it's a little dry, just go ahead and put a little bit more of the brine. And the reason I use the brine is because it has all the flavor. But like I said before, you can just use water. It's not a big deal. So the cheese mixture's done. I'm going to set it aside. And here I have my dough, okay? And I actually, I took it out of the bag maybe 30 minutes before I started making everything. Put a little bit of oil so it doesn't stick. What I'm going to do is take a good amount of flour, okay? And I'm going to dust my work surface. And don't be shy with the flour. You don't want it to stick, otherwise it's ruined. Perfect. And here I have a rolling pin. I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my rolling pin. Okay. And I'm going to take my dough and plop it on the surface, just like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out into sort of a, I'm going to use my hands first before I use the roller. I'm going to roll it out into a kind of almost like a pizza, essentially. And once you see that it's starting to come together, I'm going to take the rolling pin and just kind of spread it out a little bit more. You don't want it to be too thin or too thick. It kind of has to be maybe like 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch thick. So now my dough has been laid out perfectly, just like this. The shape doesn't really matter because we're going to form it into the right shape. I'm going to take my cheese, and essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to plop it in the middle like this. All that cheese like that. Beautiful. And with my hands or with a spoon, whatever you prefer, I'm going to spread it out like this. So now let's shape it. What you're going to need to do, and Watch carefully. We're going to take the top part and bring it in, just like this, but not all the way. You want to make sure you leave a little bit of room right here, as you can see. And we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're going to bring it over, okay? And we have, as you can see, there's a little bit of space right here. I'm going to take the ends and just pinch them together like this. Same thing on the other side. Okay, I'm going to open it up just a little bit. I don't want it to be too closed. Beautiful. Make sure you pinch them well because otherwise it'll open up and then everything will spill out. Okay, now this is the most important part. We're going to take it and kind of compress it in to make the hole a little bit bigger. Just like this. Pretty much done. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pizza peel. If you have a pizza peel, no problem. You could just put it on some parchment paper, same thing. But I'm going to take my pizza peel and dust it with a good amount of flour, like this. Okay. And I'm going to take my khachapuri and put it right on top, carefully. Beautiful. And now you want to test it to make sure that it has a little bit of room. Not room, that it can move. And as you can see, ready to go in the oven. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a really hot oven, 500 degrees, for about 10 to 12 minutes so it starts to get nice and brown, and then we'll do the following step. All right, so I took the khachapuri out of the oven. I'm just going to put it right on my work surface like that, okay? Now this next step is really important. I mean, it's optional, but I think it makes for a better khachapuri. Carefully, I'm going to put on my little glove here. I'm going to take a fork. I'm going to move the cheese around just a little bit, and what I'm going to do is scoop out some of the dough. And the reason I do that is it makes for a crispier and better textured khachapuri. You don't have to do it, but I think it's better. So you just kind of put it in like this, and you just pull out any of the dough. And don't worry, some of the cheese will come, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Okay, and then we just put the rest in a bowl. And we do that until there's no more of that dough in the middle. All right, so I removed all that excess dough. I'm going to kind of mix the cheese around just a little bit, like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my one egg, crack it, and I'm just going to put it right into the khachapuri like this. Perfect. I'm going to go back into the oven for about 2 minutes, and that's it. Khachapuri's done. Okay, khachapuri is out of the oven. Ooh, it's hot. Now, as if this weren't fat enough, we're going to take a little bit of butter, okay, a lot of butter, and we're going to rub it on the outside like this. La, 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 la. More fat, more deliciousness. Perfect. And with whatever's left, goes right in the middle. Just like that. So, there is an art to doing this. Once the butter and the egg and the cheese is in there, we're going to take a fork, and we're just going to start mixing everything around. Now, I know the idea of a raw egg may seem weird to some of you, but I promise, the cheese is so hot that it's going to cook the entire thing. And you'll kind of have like a nice creamy middle. Now, you need to eat this hot, but I do recommend letting it cool off for about 2 to 3 minutes. Otherwise, it's volcanic lava hot. And nobody wants to burn their mouth with cheese. Now, there is a way to eat this. We do not use forks, knives. We use our hands. So you're going to take a piece from the end. Oh, the crunch. Listen to that crunch. Okay? And you're going to take it, look how steamy it is. You're just going to dip it in the middle and get all of that eggy, cheesy goodness. Oh my God. Look at that. It's steaming and blowing a little bit. I'm speechless. It's so good. Cheesy, eggy, bready. Oh my God. And because we use store-bought pizza dough, it took absolutely no time. Maybe, what, 20 minutes? Khachapuri is where it's out. You guys have to try this recipe. You will not be disappointed. I think I have some food on my face. That's all right. Who cares? And that's it. Ajaroli khachapuri using store-bought pizza dough. Pretty simple, huh? Thank you guys so much for watching Marco's Urban Kitchen. As always, the written recipe will be down below on my website. If you decide to give this recipe a shot, be sure to leave me a picture on Instagram or on Facebook. And as always, thumbs up, comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys once again, and join me next time as I show you how I make 5-star meals in my 2-star kitchen. Bye-bye.